Hey everybody, I'm currently filming with the Sony ZV-E10 and the Viltrox 13mm f1.4, and I think it's a fantastic budget combo for YouTube. In today's video we'll look at the design, image quality and autofocus performance of the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 with Sony ZV-E10. But first let me show a quick outdoor sequence I shot with this combo. Starting with the design, the Viltrox 13mm is an ultra-wide angle prime lens with an equivalent focal length of 20mm on a full-frame camera. This focal length is ideal for YouTube, vlogging, landscape photography, and architecture. For the past year or so, I've been shooting all of my YouTube videos with this setup, the Sony a7 IV and the 20mm f1.8, which is the same focal length you see now. I believe it's the ideal focal length for YouTube videos, especially in small spaces. It's not too wide or too narrow. The Viltrox 13mm is compact and light for a f1.4 lens. It's only 90mm long and 450 grams when the lens hood is attached. It's entirely made of metal, including the lens mount and lens hood. As a result, it has a very premium feel to it, but it does not have any weather sealing. It has a USB-C port for firmware updates, a 67mm thread for lens filters, a very smooth aperture ring that goes from f1.4 to f16, and a large smooth focus ring. In terms of design and build quality, I honestly don't think it gets any better for the price of this lens. Everything feels very premium, including the aperture ring, which used to make weird squeaking noises on old Viltrox lenses. Let's get into the optics now. When shooting at f1.4, the image is sharp in the center and reasonably sharp in the corners, with minor chromatic aberrations and significant vignetting. When the aperture is reduced to f2.8, the image becomes sharp across the entire frame, vignetting almost disappears, and chromatic aberrations are barely visible. At f1.4 or 5.6, the image is stack sharp across the entire frame, vignetting is gone, and chromatic aberrations are almost non-existent. When it comes to distortion, there is very little barrel distortion, however, I doubt you'll notice it in real-world scenarios. In my opinion, the overall optical performance of this lens is exceptional for the price. Awesome job, Viltrox. In terms of autofocus with my Sony ZV-E10, it's pretty much flawless. As you can see, I'm using eye autofocus and it tracks me very well with no visible hunting or pulsing, and the motors are practically silent. The minimum focus distance on this lens is 22 cm, which is ideal for close-up shots. However, when shooting at f1.4, the image becomes a little soft. If you want to get tack sharp close-up shots with this lens, I'd recommend stopping down to f2.8 or higher. When vlogging with the Sony ZV-E10, the Viltrox 13mm provides a nice wide field of view. This is how it looks when no stabilization is used. The field of view is quite wide, but there are some jitters in the frame's corners. This is how it looks after applying stabilization in Sony Catalyst Browse. Still plenty wide for vlogging and much more stable than before. Finally, here's how it looks with active stabilization on the Sony ZV-E10. It's a little tight, but if you have a selfie stick, it can work. If you have the Sony FX30, I'm sure you'll get much better vlogging results. To summarize, the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 is an excellent budget wide-angle prime lens for Sony APS-C cameras. However, because of the APS-C crop when shooting in 4K 60 on the Sony a7 IV, it can also be a great option for that. For $429, you get a solid metal build quality, reliable autofocus performance, great sharpness in the center, and minimal chromatic aberrations when shooting wide open at f1.4. The main two drawbacks of this lens are: one, when shooting wide open, vignetting is quite strong, and two, when doing close-up shots at f1.4, the center of the image becomes a little soft. Other than that, I highly recommend this lens. Thank you for watching.